So we are back at our talk about organic food, and we have spoken about several topics already, but what exactly means organic?
When we talk about organic, I want to first start about what it is not. Most people think that if I have a farm, I apply manure from either the cow, chicken, rabbit, or from any other source, then I can apply chemicals and I'm doing organic. But when we're talking about organic, we're looking at a planting system where we respect the health of the soil, of the plants, and of the people who we eat. And so we're looking at the principles of fairness. Are we being fair to the creation that God has given us? We're looking at ecology. Are we maintaining the way God created the environment? Are we interfering that we are distorting the biodiversity which is in the place? Now we're also looking at the health of the soil, of the person working. And then we're looking at care. Are you caring for what God has given you? Are you caring for the workers working on the farm? Are you caring for yourself? And are you caring for the health of your consumer? So it's a whole holistic system. We are not just talking about, I'm not using chemical fertilizer, I'm using chicken manure, but I apply a little chemical pesticide. No. We have to look at how God does it and we replicate it. So that's what I can say is organic.
So it means actually going back to the techniques of the ancestors.
Exactly.
So we just give it a different name.
Exactly.
So there are different certifications for organic farming. We heard permaculture. What kind of certifications are there, and what can the farmer do if he wants to certify his crops?
Now, Nanaya was showing us how difficult it is for us to source organic products. Why? Because anybody in Ghana says, I'm growing organic. She needs an assurance. So in 2014, AU came out with their 2030 plan where they encourage governments to start promoting organic agriculture. So the German government, through the IFOAM, International Federation of Organic Movements, took up this challenge thrown to African presidents. And through a project, they came up with OM4D, Organic for Development, Organic Movement for Development. They came up with a project in Ghana, Burkina Faso, Sao Tome Principe, and Togo, where they'll be picking these countries and help establish a good organic movement. So out of this, one of the objectives was to come out with a certification body or system which local farmers can rally around and be assured that we are growing according to standards. They came up with, also through this project, the Ecological Organic Standard of Ghana, which is now part of the family of organic standards at the International Federation of Organic Movements in Germany. So when he was talking about the permaculture movement, he talked about Germany. I think Germany has really picked up this organic movement and is ensuring that countries come up and restore what has been destroyed. And so we have the PGS system, the participatory guarantee system, where a group of farmers take the standard and ensure that they are policing each other to follow the principles and the practices, and then check in periodically to ensure that what is being said to be organic is really organic. And so we have the certification, the PGS certificate, which is given to farmers.
I guess that is already a very big step that Ghana is taking.
Yes, we
And
thank the Netherlands Embassy and Eco Agro for spearheading the establishment of PGS in Ghana.
that is a great work that you are doing. So we are talking about farmers. When we think of farmers, we think of countryside, but looks like there are also farmers in the city. So city farming, what is that exactly?
Thank you. So thank you very much. Exactly, and well said. There are farmers also in the city. I'm a farmer myself, and earlier on in my introduction, I made mention that city farming, we are the new and the modern farmers in town. So what we do is we provide quality home farm services. Okay, so now we are now in an age that people do not have much spaces. Now, Accra is gradually turning into a hub where all the arable lands are being degraded into real estate. We are on top of a hill or a mountain. When you were coming up, you saw that gradually the lands were being depleted. In some years to come, all the arable lands will be depleted. So now the question is, those in Accra, where are they going to feed? That means they'll have to rely on the farmers from the countryside. So now we are taking up an initiative that we can now start paying detailed attention to the spaces we have available in the homes. It can be your balcony, your porch, your walls, any space left that perhaps might not be in use. City farming, we come up with modern structures, more sustainable ways to make sure that we provide these services to the household to cultivate their own food. Now, Selasie was talking about permaculture. We also have backyard permaculture, where you can inculcate the olden ways of farming into the modern ways. Okay, so now we are all classes of elites that some old and traditional ways of doing things might be fading out. Maybe I wouldn't want to be holding the hoe and the cutlass. I would want to farm in my comfort. So inculcating the old traditional ways of permaculture would be quite difficult for me. So I would want to do something modern. So city farming, we are saying that we can help you design a permaculture structure where you can have a touch of every local activity that is being done in the permaculture system into the new forms. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to bring out. So for instance, the permaculture, it's more of traditional. So maybe you can have a big compound where you have a touch of this, maybe let's say the animal system, a touch of the vegetable system, the bee and other things. It's like you're creating a small village within a confined area. Okay, so if you still want to go into these olden ways, city farming can help you design that structure that you would want to make use of the space available in that old system. That is what we do. So we provide quality home farm services. Unlike the time you wouldn't get to take care of your home farm, we come in, then we provide the necessary steps and the necessary advice to ensure you maintain this farm. So basically that's what we do.
So the city farming, what kind of techniques do you use to make it organic?
So initially, we are more or less like a business structured entity. So this is how we serve our clients. There are always two options. You either go the organic way or the inorganic way. But for the doubt of the discussion we are having here, we are talking about organic. So first of all, if you are my client, I would prefer you go the organic way. Therefore, I would recommend organic seeds. And we have some other organizations, if I'm permitted to acknowledge them, like the HOE, spearheaded by David Jawara. He's doing very well. His farms are located in Central Region. They are into pure organic seeds. Also, you, the client, might have your own seeds that you have brought from wherever you are coming from. So it's not only we providing the seeds, but you can also recommend your seeds. So for instance, City Farming, I want to engage in your services. I have my own seeds, but can you help me go the organic way? That is where we now advise. So what we do is we prepare the soil. But first of all, my take on organic farming starts from the mindset. As Dr. Watts trying to give us the principles. Okay, so we have the principle of ecology, the principle of fairness when it comes to organic farming. How are you being fair to the environment? So as part of we providing or we pushing the sustainability drive in trying to make sure that people go the organic way, we try to bring in a system that would help you maintain a well-balanced ecosystem within your farm. So what we'll do is would advise, we help you create that system in a more organic and sustainable way. You get it? Yeah, thank you.
So you mentioned organic seeds, and Selasie also mentioned GMO and hybrid before. So how possible is it that you get organic seeds? And if you don't get organic seeds, can you buy hybrid seed and then grow it organic? Will it be the same effect?
Okay, thank you for that question. You want to share something then?
Yes, so I have had some experience with some seeds. You know, even we make mistakes when we go to buy seeds. You know, not all seeds are viable or that can sustain our temperature in Ghana, or especially we those in the coastal lines. So as part of advice, we have some seeds here. When I picked this, I first checked if it's a temperate seed. You know, we are in the temperate areas and we have arid areas. Tropical areas. Okay, so when you buy a seed and you don't check the kind of climate system or the kind of environment it would survive, it's a total failure. Back to your question. You can't get an organic seed from a hybrid seed. All other forms of seeds emanate from organic seeds. They are the F1 generation when you go more into genetics. Okay, so this is the main source. So you can get a GMO from picking some of the traits from an organic seed. And a hybrid, like he said, when you plant hybrid, it's done. You need to go back and get another hybrid seed. Yeah.
So you mentioned F1 hybrid. Can you explain what exactly that is?
I think Doctor would want to say something.
Yes, I'm a bit uncomfortable because we are confusing some things. Okay. Yes, when we talk about F1, it means I take this plant. It has a very strong property, which is good. I take another plant. It has a very strong property. So out of them, I'll fuse them so that it will resist something. That is an F1. Out of F1, if I try to plant the seed of F1, I'll get a product, but it wouldn't be as productive as the F1. Now, when we talk about GMO, as Selasie said, it means I'm taking maybe tomatoes and a pig gene and fuse them together to come out with a tomato. It looks like a tomato, but actually you are eating a pig. And so that's the GMO we're talking about. Now, as to whether we can use hybrids, that's the F1s, for planting, we don't easily come across organic seeds here. And so per the standard, I always like going by the standard which has been established. Per the standard, organic farmers can resort to the treated and the hybrid to sow. But the practice where you are going to care, you are going to look after the plant for it to grow. You have to follow the principles and the practices according to the standard. Then what is coming out is organic. But when I pick an F1 and I use chemicals, then I'm doing conventional. I think we are clear about this. Thank you.
Okay, let me just come in a bit. When it comes to seeds, in Africa, most of the seeds that we use as tropical people, it's like when we do more researches, there are communities already in the past who do, like when they are doing farming, they select their breed of seed that they want to use in the coming farming season. And what they do normally is the only advice we give them is this: if you want to produce seed farm, and don't force, like most of them, they overuse, they'll be harvesting the same crop up to the last final harvest, then they go and produce it, which already everything is weak in it. So sometimes the seeds cannot have any percentage of germination period, so they might end up seeing that they don't have good seed. So mostly what they do is they disrespect what they have at home and then almost looking, so the farmers don't even do a choice of whether they can do seed for them, but now they go straightly for what is there. So every year they do budget for seed buying, chemical buying. So you see today now, the only problem we have in which permaculture is trying to resolve more is this: farmers spend more and get less out of their farm. Because the investment now, that's why first in the world of Africa, we don't do too much investment into farms. Because almost like we said something like mimicking. Nature is already there, so we only put ourselves in there as caretakers. So we don't force the nature to do what you don't want to do for us. But now people can force the earth, everything as much as even food that can grow for, let's say, 1 year, somebody wants to see 3 months ready to grow. And one system we don't understand is this: if your internal systems is also taking what is to be grown 1 year, 6 months, they will force you to grow. So even if you see our age, our ladies, everybody, we are growing fat and big, and we think that that's the system, but there's something wrong. Because you see, the problem is this: most people who feed in the market, they don't even know where the source of production comes from. So if you say you're doing organic, if you go to market, everybody will tell you it's organic. If you go to the farmers, they will tell you it's organic. But for them to define what is organic, they're going to have the problem. Because they know if you don't say organic, nobody will buy. So it's like it's a matter of that. When permaculture comes, you are consciously being resolved from thinking negatively about what, like you throw a stone in the market. All your families are there. Like for example, my voice can make it. When you throw a stone into the market, you don't even know it's going to hit your own mother. So what we have to consciously bring people up to is this: anything you want to do, don't think about yourself alone, because we are thinking about self. And in Africa, we grow as a community. But now it is about the self-dependence and the self-over-dependency that is causing a lot of these things. So I think if we want to do a farming as a holistic approach, we'll be able to get a seed, we're able to get the natural seeds, we're able to, we can do as this fair you're doing today. That's why I'm so glad and happy to be here, although all the challenges I've been through, but I want to be here today because if we continue like this, a time will come we can even do seed fair and bring seeds from all over Africa that can be maintained and protected. Because once in Ghana, when Ghana government started dealing with the planting for food and job, when first I approached the agric system, they didn't have anything in terms of organic support. I was there in my community several times. They didn't have any support at all for organic farmer. When you go there, as long as you are not ready to do a conventional farming, they are not ready to give you any input. So we are, as long as the system of international is coming and realizing that, you see, globally, from the SDGs, the world is realizing that if they don't force the system to bring out some things, nature is going to be against those who are even thinking they're going to be the best of enjoyment of it. So now it's giving a holistic thinking of everybody to care and think about the earth. So the multilateral business companies like Germany, US and all that are setting up like 27. They are also trying to bring more into because even I say, what's the president name? Is it Bill? The Biden, the American president, Biden, the recent conference they went to on climate change, he was considering much that everything is just be realistic. The problems are closer than we are thinking. So it's no more one man's thinking of a nation, but let us all globally approach the system. So I think this is giving us a benefit as Africans for our leaders also to consider the organic part. So now I think we are better off, and we have to do more as people of us who are having the same mindset, thinking about seed banking, seed first, and even having, when we talk about agro-pharmacies in communities, so instead of chemical outreach, we can also have organic outlets for the farmers, because most farmers will give excuse that where will I get the supply? So I think if we do more of this, what we are doing today, it will help a lot for us to get to where we want to be. Thank you.